Hello everyone and welcome to this new video about level design. In this episode, we're gonna talk about an important step of any level design process, the drafting of the levels map. Nowadays, with all the game engines and level design tools at our disposal, we can be tempted to jump in the software and dive headfirst into making our levels. Although this is definitely a good way to get some motivation, and I would recommend following that instinct as a beginner because it allows you to try things out and learn with hands-on prototypes, there might be a point where you start to think that your designs aren't as powerful as you'd want them to be. The thing is that designing levels is hard. It's a complex task that requires you to take into account a lot of factors. What's the main objective? What is the story the level is supposed to tell? What game mechanics the player can leverage? What are the aesthetics and key elements of the environment that should stand out to immerse people in the game's world? What difficulty you should offer the players? What narrative events should happen in this specific portion of the game? Etc, etc. So levels are very dense objects, teeming with questions and ideas that have to be thought through, or you run the risk of having just an unreadable mush of poorly balanced images and half-baked interactions. That's why if you want to get serious about your level design, and you want to make robust scenes with a consistent atmosphere, a hooky rhythm, and an immersive gameplay, you should probably first sit down and map out what the level should look like. Getting a bird's eye view of your entire level is essential because it will help you identify the weak spots, validate the overall story makes sense, and craft a nice experience for the players. A level is not an assembly of unrelated rooms. It has to be a coherent whole that takes you through well-determined points, both in the space and in the narration, and pushes the game story forward. Now, there is no right way to draw a level map. Each designer may have her own workflow. But a good game level map usually contains the following elements. First, you have the grand layout of the level, with the rooms and the floors for this scene. This helps to picture, size and bound the level properly, and it will be the foundation for the next stages of level design where you actually transform this 2D plan into a real 3D scene. Then you'll want to think about the flow of your level. Where are the doors and the windows? Are there stairs or ladders or elevators? The elements you can use might vary depending on your game fiction and aesthetic, but you will always have some items that determine which waypoints the player should go through to progress in the level. Another valuable layer of information is the map of the key objects the player will pick up or interact with as she explores the level. For example, this can be the end objective, if your mission goal is to collect something, a specific weapon upgrade, or a key that unlocks another part of the level. You can also include important events, characters or cutscenes that serve the narration. Then you can try to chart precisely the main path you intend for your players, to check if it sounds logical and if everything is in place to support this journey. You can of course also draw the optional paths, for example the secondary routes that lead to additional rewards or secret rooms. Note by the way that this is a nice walkthrough for you when you'll test the level, cause it can serve as a to-do list of the event sequence to check when you're working on the global feel of your scene. Last but not least, you should put a legend and a scale somewhere on your map. This will help you remember what all of these symbols stand for in the future, it will help communicate your ideas with the rest of the team, and it will anticipate for the 3D phase by already giving a sense of scale to the layout. Something crucial to remember, however, is that this map should absolutely not be set in stone. Level design is an art that requires a lot of trial and error. It is perfectly normal and beneficial to your level to first do a rough draft, and then iterate over the design over and over again to refine it. The first tests you'll do with the 3D versions are often very enlightening that way, in particular for the dimensions, which can be hard to mentalize properly on a piece of paper like this. So keep your map close by and don't hesitate to come back and annotate or even redraw whole parts of it. That's how you'll redistill your experience and feedback of the level into an improved version. The map will be the first time your level comes to life and truly gets real, and you should feel free to test ideas and pull them back out if they don't work. Don't be afraid of the eraser and don't be afraid of mistakes. The only way to know if your idea really works is to try it out. And with all that said, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this quick tips and techniques tutorial about level design and that you now understand the importance of the mapping step in the design of your levels. If you did, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and of course don't hesitate to leave a comment with your ideas for future level design tutorials. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and take care.